controversy right now is transgender bathrooms. Right? Now, that's why I'm from Ann Arbor. Usually comedians are pretty liberal, but I think we really should segregate bathrooms very strictly. But I think we should do it based on if you're doing number 1 or number 2. With a woman who identifies as a male pissing next to me, but I want some big birdie like taking a crap. Right? We gotta segregate that shit. Pun intended. Yeah, are we okay with same-sex marriage here in building? Oh, well, make some noise if you're married. Who's married here? Correct me if I'm wrong, isn't marriage all about the same sex? Yeah. Night after night after night after night. I know it's different sex marriage, so I am divorced.
Actually, you'd be glad to know I am a U.S. citizen, but I was born in Pakistan. Thank you for that warm response. I was 7 years old when we learned we're coming to America. The only thing I knew about America was how rich it was. So I imagined there'd be gold streets everywhere, rupees that landed in Detroit. 18 hours on airplane, I'm in Afghanistan. Now you can imagine when I traveled, they thoroughly searched me. It's a point now when I fly in here, only thing over the airport is a thong. Cocky about it. I'll be like, yeah, go ahead and look for my weapon of mass destruction. They're weighing me through though. They're like, you ain't hurting anyone with that. And they like to remind me that saying, once you've had a pack, you'll probably go back. Having the time of my life, because ever since I was a little kid I wanted to do stand-up comedy like this, but it seemed too scary, right? So I played it safe, not a gag. For the last 25 years I have been an Ann Arbor police officer. Recently retired in comedy now.
To me it's just weird though. Hate me for being Pakistani, love me for being a police officer. But it's really weird, I get the complete opposite reaction at my Al-Qaeda meetings. I'm kidding, I do not go to Al-Qaeda meetings. We chat online. Of course, now people know. But actually, I often don't even mention I'm a police officer at a comedy club because it seems like half the crowd has just smoked marijuana. Now, you don't have to be a detective to kind of figure out at least one of those who that might be, huh? And a lot of people think the breathalyzer, it only detects alcohol, but you might be interested to know, we can tell if you've been smoking marijuana from the breathalyzer. You know that. Well, you know how we can tell? Is if we give you the mouthpiece, and you go, thank you very much, officer. Pretty good clue you might have been smoking a little weed.
But I think we're too politically correct, don't you? Hey, yes, I have one. Wasn't easy when I started. I'm not sure how the veteran officers did it, but they rewired my siren. So when I would go pull somebody over and you, instead of the usual police whistle sound, it would go, took me 2 weeks to learn to do that. I think it comes natural. It does not. I have to go to Dearborn. Some of you been to Dearborn, huh?
And see what else is interesting in police work. Well, one thing is the use of tasers. It's like whenever we taser some old lady, it's on YouTube. I'll let you on a little secret. The use of tasers will cause an instantaneous erection. Oh, not the people we taser, but us officers. We love taser kids. That excites us. And one guy tasered for over 4 hours. Then it occurred to me from that Cialis commercial to go see a doctor. Now, another thing we'll do is if we pull somebody over and they give us any kind of lip or attitude, we'll give them 2 tickets to a Lions game. Too soon? Too soon?
Oh, that's good.
Okay. But it's funny, when I first started with the Ann Arbor Police Department, it's not very diverse. It was an almost all-white police department. We had a handful of black officers and then me. Kind of like the diversity here. But so, oh, you gotta know. But it was funny, so whenever a citizen had a complaint against me, they didn't get my name, Sergeant could instantly figure it out because he'd always ask the citizen. He'd be like, can you describe this officer? Citizen would be like, oh yeah, it was that Puerto Rican guy.
And then, of course, anytime you take enforcement action, people always think it's because of race or ethnicity. It's like right before I retired, I pulled over this gentleman before I could get his license and registration. He started screaming at me that the only reason I'm stopping him is because he's Mexican. What's so unfair? He wouldn't listen to me. This honest goodness truth. I had no idea he was Mexican. Only reason I stopped him, I thought he was black. My belly, you can laugh at that. That is not the only reason. He was with a skinny white woman. You know I'm kidding. She wasn't skinny. Thank you for laughing at that.
Well, same-sex marriage is legal, and they're thinking of making marijuana legal. If you have a ballot in November, you go with that. So I said the next hurdle is we make prostitution legal. Who's with me on that? Yeah. But they'll have to do like they did with marijuana, right? First there's your foot in the door, so I say make it legal for medicinal purposes. So it would be sex addicts who would get a prescription. You could have the 2 Bills be the spokespersons. Bill Clinton and Bill Cosby. I'm trying to think inside the box here, people. But since it's for sex addicts, it would have to be bad sex. But I think that's great because one is you could tax it, and then since it's for bad sex, all the women here in Belgium can get a job.